Hello and welcome to the Craft Fairy video on making flowers with ribbon and then decorating packages to make them look very, very pretty for Christmas. What you can see here is a little box that I've made, and then I've used the ribbon to decorate the box by turning it into a flower, which I've made detachable. So you can see the flower that I've got here, but what I'm going to do today, since this is just before Christmas, is I'm going to make one with red ribbon instead. And here's the red one for you to see. Turn it so it catches the light a bit better. And we'll start and I'll show you what to do. You're not actually going to need an awful lot for this project. You're going to need a length of ribbon for the flower, some green ribbon for the frill at the back, which is supposed to look like leaves, and a needle and thread. Don't need anything else. The ribbon that I'm using is a 38mm ribbon, which is satin on one side, so I think you can actually see the sheen on the satin, but a more matte, almost taffeta-like finish on the other side. Start by putting a knot in your ribbon. You'll need a knot in your bow. You'll need a knot because you're going to sew this rather than anything else, and you need to be able to get a nice firm knot. Start by putting a knot in your ribbon. You'll need a knot in your bow. You'll need a knot because you're going to sew this rather than anything else, and you need to be able to get a nice firm knot. I'll start this project by putting a fold in the ribbon, and starting from the corner there, I'll start to fold. So it's a sort of series of rolls really. And when I get to about there, just at the end of that, I'm going to actually put in a stitch. Now, it's not a special stitch of any kind whatsoever. A lot of people do actually glue these rather than stitch them, but I much prefer to stitch, because if you stitch, you can actually use your flowers to put on clothes and they can wash, but if you glue them, you're a bit stuck. Right, now when you get to there, put another fold in your ribbon and continue to turn. Okay, you see that? And then when you've got to about there, put another stitch in. And when we're talking about stitches, we're not talking about much. Nothing exceptional. Right, turn the ribbon again, or fold the ribbon again, and turn again. And another stitch. A tip for you to remember is the tighter you turn, the smaller and more compact your rose is going to be. Now, if I'll show you an example of that, I'll move that out of the way. This pink one was turned on fairly loose turns, whereas this red one was turned with far tighter turns, so you've actually got a much tighter rose. Put those aside. On this one, we're going to make the folds fairly loose. So I'll turn it again. And come up a little bit. The reason I'm turning this fairly loose is I want it to be something that I can use to decorate the box, as I showed you at the start. If I were making it into a flower that I could put a wire in, I'd probably make it a lot tighter, because then I'd want to put it in a vase. Okay, and again. The joy of these roses as well, because the ribbon is so big, is that you can get, it'll grow very quickly, whereas a narrow ribbon will make quite a small rose. You can end up making a large rose with a narrow ribbon, you just have to do an awful lot of folds. Whereas with this one, you can do very, very few. Okay, we've done that one. And then another one. And this length of ribbon, by the way, is only 3/4 of a metre. And you can see I've only used just over half of it. Look at the size and the rows that we've got already. Turn over. And stitch again. Turn over. And the other nice thing about this ribbon, I think I'm going into raptures about this ribbon now, but it really is lovely. The other nice thing about this ribbon is that you can also see that the spots only just show every so often. It's not too dominant. It's almost like, I think with this red stuff, it's a bit like a sort of Minnie Mouse type of red and dots. So if you're going to give anyone in your family who's mad on Minnie Mouse, then this would be a perfect one to make them. Never mind putting it on a gift. Okay. You want to work with this lovely satin side as well. It's too nice to hide. We're getting there, nearly there, only another few folds and the rows will be done. You can see I'm not putting many stitches in, so don't worry all of you people out there who can't stand stitching. If you happen to have a thimble ready, it's also very handy. And then in the next couple of seconds I'm going to show you then how to finish it off. Two stitches there. And another two stitches there. Okay, right, now then we want to finish it off and we don't want that ugly thing to be seen, so we'll fold that in there, fold it over, you see that, and fold that under. At the same time you'll be catching that piece that you had to start off with, and then put in a couple of stitches just to finish it off. And that'll give you a really nice finish. Now, if I'm honest, if I were making this as just to go on the top of a gift, which wouldn't be particularly kept afterwards, I think I'd probably glue it. You'd be a lot quicker, and maybe in another video I'll do glued ones. But I really want to show you how to sew this one. Okay, I'm not going to tie this off as yet because I may well need to do something else with it afterwards. And there we are, there's our finished rows. Okay, now everything's all sewn on, and as you can see from the size of my hand, you've got quite a large flower which will make a beautiful bow for Christmas, a lovely rosette if you sew a brooch back to the back of it, and then you can pin it on one of your clothes and it'll look lovely for Christmas. The alternative, which is to put it onto a gift, which I've already tied with a matching ribbon, and then you put it on there like that, so that the tails from the gift make a stunning addition to the bows and the loops. Now, if you gave someone a gift in something like that, I think they'd really, really appreciate it. You need to put something very nice inside it as well, mind. But don't forget, this is also part of the gift. So you've got a brooch and you've got a lovely gift. Now, all of this ribbon can be found on craftfairy.co.uk under the dotty ribbon section and under the 16mm section. So if you look below, the link to the website is given to you and you can go and get your ribbon there. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'm going to show you how to do the loops which I had on this flower. Oops, I put it into camera, and they're quite easy. They work on the same principle of that's used when you make pull bows. So if you've got thin ribbon, you can do this for a pull bow as well. So all I've got is a piece of 16mm willow satin ribbon. I love this ribbon, it tends to go with lots and lots of stuff. And I'm going to come in about that much from the end. Show you where the end is. Okay, there's the end. Come in about that much, about a thumb span, just over a thumb span. And then put a small running stitch in there. Then I'm going to decide how big I want my loop to be, and I'm just going to do that. Okay, and then I'll do exactly the same again and get another loop which is pretty much the right size and put a stitch through there. And then I want 3 loops. So I'll do the same there, put a stitch through, pull through, put a couple of stitches there, and then tie off. So if I open that out, you can see I've got my loops. So I want that one there, and all I need to do then is to snip that one off with scissors, and then the loop is ready. So if I then put that on there, you can see what I mean, and that's how quick and easy it is. Okay, so I've trimmed off my ribbon so that I've got 2 little tails, and here's my flower. What I'd like to do now is to sew the flower to the loops. So if you remember, I said not to cut off this ribbon that was behind the rose as yet, because you'll be using it again. And all you need to do is to come into there somewhere around the centre. Position it so that you've got it in a place where you think it looks about right. You don't want too much showing, just a little bit. So you've got the tails there like that. And when you look on the back, you'll see it's actually not all that central. So let's move it a little bit. No, I preferred it where it was before. It's what it looks like at the front rather than what it looks like at the back that's more important. So just there, with just those 2 little tails coming down, and that's showing at the top. And then a couple of stitches to stitch it into place. And I won't bore you to tears with that. So we'll come back in a second when I've done it